we're back with the guy who's recording through a potato because Discord hates laptop cameras, and some bearded hillbilly we found on the side of the road. For those of you who don't know, this other person eating ice cream right now is the second portion.
The wrong person.
I just pointed straight up.
Yeah, you were pointing at me.
Yeah, I know. I was talking about this one.
Pointing at me.
Yeah, I know. I'm not pointing at you. I'm pointing at Jake.
Oh, you're pointing at
that. Okay.
On my screen.
Okay, hold on. On the screen that matters, that is mine, that everyone's gonna see. I'm pointing to the right person.
Confusing.
Always thinking about the listener.
This is an audio. See, the best part is this is both an audio medium and a video medium.
You neglected to already mention that this is a Super Chili Burger edition.
I didn't even say the title, but okay.
Well, you know what? Your podcast, buddy.
You know, just because you speak for a living doesn't mean you can just run the show here. That's all I get for you. All right, this is Jake. He's one of my oldest friends. We had a de facto podcast like 2 years ago. That didn't work because I was learning. And I laugh because he's currently talking to his wife, Jamie. I'm guessing off camera.
Oh, she's gone.
Oh, she's gone. Oh, it's Jake's weekend.
She left me for mountains.
Oh.
So this is a dude weekend.
Oh, just Jake and Cove.
I'm just surrounded by girls constantly, so
he really is. Yeah. That's a dynamic.
And not in like a whoa.
no. I have a wife and 2 daughters.
Yeah, like in a diapers and unicorns way.
It's still whoa. It's just a whoa.
Different whoa. Whoa.
Definitely a very different kind of whoa.
So this guy's also has known both of us way longer than any of us like to admit. So this is going to be interesting. So this is going to go
known each other for well over 20 years, and then the 3 of us have known each other for close to 20 years.
Yep.
18?
Yeah, our friendship, our 3-way friendship is legal officially. So
yeah, our 3-way friendship can drink almost.
Almost can vote.
Me and Jake's friendship can drink.
Yeah. I mean, I have a friend like that, but I don't even. I mean, I would really, but that's wild.
I love it.
I don't even know where to begin this because this is gonna I really don't want to structure it. I kind of just want to see how things flow.
Just take us there, Spects.
Take us there. I'm not.
Take us there.
Thank you.
Lead me.
Lead you. I'm not really much.
I mean, we can go with our usual, talk some video games and then talk some Angels baseball, and maybe talk a little bit of Lakers or whatever.
Yes, we can start.
Well, we have some real Angels transactions to deal with.
There's some wildness that's going to happen later. I know we were talking about this before we started because Jake comes in and asks like what games we were playing recently. So I guess we can start there. I was thinking about this earlier today because I made the comment I wanted to get away from just the show content, and then the show drops like just straight up like mammoth like content that's going to take me probably most of the weekend to do. But I want to get away from it for at least a little bit. I did this week, but I got Mario Maker, so we jump into that. I think I showed Bryce. I don't think I showed you, Jake. I did. I sent in the picture. I found this and then my Xbox.
I did see that.
So I gotta get that going again.
Maybe you ought to stream some NCAA.
I gotta get another battery, and I gotta get a new battery pack connector thing for it, and I always forget.
Only NCAA game I ever want to play needs to have Reggie Bush in it. Otherwise, I don't want to touch it.
I wonder if they're gonna do like legacy rosters for the new one when it comes out next year.
I mean, the old NCAA games didn't really have like even if you go back to like NCAA 05, it didn't really have Reggie Bush in it. It had RB number 05 or whatever.
Well,
now,
if
it doesn't have RB number 05 and the maroon and gold, then I don't want it.
Well, I mean, now they will because they have NIL.
It's like the NFL.
That'll be a question: are they going to bring in legacy players into the?
I would guess you're gonna have legacy rosters.
That reminds me of like how in the Madden games, how they would have like every player and coach listed except for Bill Belichick because he like never signed.
He never
his,
got
like,
into the union.
name rights, so it's like coach, and it.
Well, I think there was like one or two players that were like that too. Where
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was.
you get this random name and you're like, that guy's not an NFL player.
Yeah, because that's how fun fact. In any MLB game, that's how Barry Bonds was. So like in MVP 05, Barry Bonds was like John Dowd.
Well, and I remember
Kevin Millar was like Anthony Freeze or something.
And in those old MLB games, I remember well, and even in some of the modern ones, when it goes to do like if you want to try to like break a record in my career or anything, or whatever it's called in the
Road to the Show. It stops at Hank Aaron.
It'll list Hank Aaron's record as the home run record because
Barry doesn't want it.
Whenever you play like sports games with players like Barry Bonds, like when you select them, a screen should pop up that it's just like really you really want to cheat right now. Okay, go ahead. I think take the joy out of the game.
To be fair,
it just gives you a quick lecture before you actually play. Because it should make you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah. Just let you know that you're cheating beforehand.
Exactly.
And you had some of those old games where some of the football players would be like, I can't remember there used to be this reference that it was like, there was a player who's basically a cheat code in one of the old NFL games, and I can't remember.
One of them
Michael Vick. That was Michael Vick from
NFL. Vick. That's one of them.
From Madden 2004. There was
one back in like the 90s as well. I think like Barry Sanders.
Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson was disgusting from like time whatever bowl back in like the late 80s, early 90s.
Was that on like 2-bit like pixel?
Yeah, it was one of those really old versions of football, but like
it was like on the Atari, I think.
He was unbeatable, basically. Like if you gave him the ball, it's like, all right, you win.
Yeah, that's good.
I think
good info for those who probably aren't playing that game.
So Brandon's been playing Show and Mario Maker. Bryce, what have you been playing?
I've been in Mario Maker for my streams.
I played Valheim.
That's right. Doing some Valheim, and then.
But I think, you know what I'm going to jump into, and I got to get Bryce in on this. I would get Jake, but I don't think Jake has it. Pokemon Stadium's back on the Switch. If you have the family one, or that.
You guys always raked me over the coals for this, but I never was able to be a Pokemon guy. I love the cards, but I never got into the games. I don't know.
Cards, you say? Cards, you say?
Oh, jeez.
I thought the bottom was going to fall out. I got really scared.
And then holds up baseball cards.
You're a man of many talents, Brandon.
Hold on. I am. Here, this one will get Jake all excited. I don't think I showed him this.
Unless it's Exodia, I'm not going to get excited.
How about a Reed Detmers no-hitter card?
That's pretty good. All right. That's pretty good.
What's the number on it? I don't think I have the number.
So you guys have never played any FromSoft or Dark Souls games?
I have Dark Souls 3.
Oh yeah, have you been playing that ever?
I haven't played in a while. Porter wants me to play it way more than I actually like to, but every time I play it, I like it. I just have to be in the right mindset of like, I'm just gonna constantly like get my butt handed to me, and I'm usually not in that mood.
No game has ever made me want to punch a hole through my TV consistently than that game. Like how Bryce used to throw controllers when.
No, that was me for sure.
That was me. I literally launched a controller.
You threw some controllers when we were playing Madden or NCAA. You would.
I don't think I ever threw controllers. I recall throwing like right onto the ground, but like I was never like Spects chucking a controller across the room.
That was once. It wasn't like a common occurrence.
You almost broke your TV the one day.
Yeah, keyword is almost.
I mean, I've never almost broke a TV with a controller flying across the room.
So you're telling me you've always been passionate about video games?
I think I've just had the life of I think I just had the rage qualities of a streamer my entire life, is what I'd say.
And for me, I don't know. I think for me, like my bit of self-reflection is that in up through like up until like my early 20s, probably, I was just so like uptight.
It's called he got
to
married.
put it
That's what
lightly.
happened.
Well, yeah, to an extent, but
See,
I think I calmed down before I got married, but it was a matter of like maturing and like it was basically worrying so much about what other people were thinking of me constantly just had me like tense as, you know, like all get out. But
And the beard brought some wisdom for sure.
and now, you know, you got the gray in the beard.
Oh, there you go.
It means I'm wise or something.
Oh wait, no, never mind. This was just a white cupcake I was eating earlier.
I think it means you have 2 kids under the age of 5.
Yeah,
And that goes for both of you.
Get there one day, Spects.
I'm good.
Are you?
I don't know.
Yeah, for me with like the RPGs, it's I think my RPG repertoire still mostly consists of just some Final Fantasy and then now Hogwarts Legacy. So,
did you play the remake of 7?
I did. I beat that.
I loved it. Oh man, so good.
I still haven't beaten it.
I'm waiting for.
You haven't played the original yet, have you?
Me? I have.
Of 7?
I haven't.
I have.
That's a great game. Like the story, like
So
I would recommend anybody to play that because the story, like if you can like grab a copy on like Steam or whatever, it's story makes up for maybe the lack of graphics.
So I
do have friends who mod it to make the graphics better, but
so I started playing it. I think I don't have that much to go because I know the 3rd disc is like the final dungeon and the boss.
Like 10 years ago, or that you're talking about?
Yeah.
The one I started.
The one I started in college. The one I started in college.
You probably don't even have access to that save file anymore.
Honestly, I probably do.
That's what I'm saying. You act like
let me ask this question.
In the middle of playing it when it's more like you might eventually, but probably not ever going to get back to it.
You know, one day I might return to my friend's place and still get it.
Next thing I know, you're gonna like be streaming that last bit of Final Fantasy VII just to show me up, but
it wouldn't be on my channel because I don't have it.
Oh yeah. I thought you were saying you might still have this lying around somewhere.
Our Jake and I's mutual friend might have it.
It's pretty cheap on Steam. You can just rebeat it.
Rebeat it. Don't take that. I don't know what
the. Let's see, Final Fantasy VII.
I like how you're looking this up.
It's on Switch.
I just don't remember how much. It's $12 on the Steam store. I don't know how much
it's on Switch too. So if you're a normal person that has a Switch, then you're good.
A normal person who has a Switch, you're good.
I have a Switch because I stream Mario Maker.
Good.
Wait, what was? Are you talking about the original Final Fantasy VII? Because I have the remake on my PlayStation.
No, I'm talking about the original.
Oh, the original's on the Switch. Probably look.
I can't. I tried it and I couldn't do it.
It's so blocky.
It's just it was painful.
Were you guys?
I understand.
That's why I recommend getting it on Steam so you can modify it a little bit to make the graphics more up to date.
Were you guys Kingdom Hearts players? Oh, that's a random.
Jake was.
Yeah, I played 1 and 2 a little bit, but truthfully, this might be a hot take. The best Kingdom Hearts game I've played was Chain of Memories, and
that's the only one I remember you playing.
Yeah, I played 1 and 2 on PlayStation a little bit, but yeah, the one on Game Boy or whatever, it was so good. It was epic, honestly.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII is $16 on the Switch and $12 on Steam.
I actually just made my top 15 favorite games of all time. If you want a top 15,
Right.
I can turn it into a top 5 with an
10
OLI.
10 OLIs.
Yeah, you want 10 OLIs or do you just want
Just
all
do
15?
Just do a top 15.
My question before this starts is Samurai Warriors on there?
Oh, not this again.
It's actually on there.
Yep. Oh my god.
But it barely made it, truthfully.
Okay.
Barely made it, truthfully. Yeah.
I only asked that because it was the game you and I probably played together more than any other.
Oh, it was so good for so long.
Oh my god.
I'd still play that game, to be honest, if I had somebody to play it alongside.
That's where it was at its best, was that co-op. Okay, all right, here we go. Top 15. Boy. All right, give me fanfare here, okay?
I don't have any fanfare, so you're on your own.
Number 15. God of War on PlayStation 4.
Okay, so that's like 3.
Epic adventure, father-son relationship.
Oh.
Makes you feel things. Number 14. Samurai Warriors. PlayStation 2.
It's on there. It's number 14.
Kunoluigi, you were the babe. You were the babe.
I love the fact
I think we talked about this
and it's in our DMs.
We don't have enough time for that conversation.
I sent him the flower of the night video just
I think my response was
a couple boys going through puberty, man. That was
my response was just, oh my god.
I then showed it to my wife afterwards, and she just laughed that was something that I used to enjoy watching. So
unreal.
2 horny little children.
That's right. Number 13, Neo. About an Irish samurai that goes to Japan to fight off demonic forces. It was epic and very hard. That was on PS4. Number 12, Fire Emblem, the OG on Game Boy. You guys ever play Fire Emblem games?
Did I play Fire Emblem games? Hang on.
I
don't know, man. You tell me.
I was literally talking. We were literally talking about this on my stream earlier. Because one of the characters,
Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light.
One of the bosses that you can beat in Mario Maker, his name is Roy.
Oh, Roy, dude.
And so Fire Emblem got brought up.
No, because somebody said Roy's our boy.
It's not Roy, but it's a different Roy. It's a Roy from Mario. But
so he doesn't know the joke. The whole thing is like Roy's our boy.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well.
Fire Emblem's a great game, though.
I mentioned when we went one year when we went to San Clemente, me and you played your Fire Emblem game on like your Game Boy or Game Boy Advance or whatever. Was that one?
Probably.
That's Game Boy. That's an old one.
I couldn't remember because
did we play it on like the Game Boy player on the GameCube?
No, we played it like I want to say on like a Game Boy Advance, and we just like sat in that little like bunk bed area, and like we were just like sitting over. Like we could be going down to the beach, and we're just sitting here like in a corner playing video games.
You guys could be surfing, and you guys are sitting in a corner playing video games. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, because we were
honestly like how those trips would go. We would then we'd often sit around playing like NCAA 06, 07.
I mean, granted, I can't say we're any better. The last time I went to a beach house, we were sitting on. We were on the deck, the balcony with an acoustic guitar and like bongos making up songs for people as they walked by.
Bongos. All right, number 11, Elden Ring.
Wow. Okay.
Incredibly good. It's just so good. It's so good. And it's so big that you can go, like if you get stuck somewhere, you can go and go level up and then go back to wherever you were stuck and like kill the boss. So it's always nice. Number 10, Batman Arkham Knight. My favorite Batman game in the whole series.
Not Arkham City, huh? Interesting.
No, Arkham Knight was insane. It was so good.
I haven't played it. I have it, but it's one of those ones I gotta go back and play.
Oh, it's so good. Number 9, Resident Evil 4. OG.
Okay. Solid.
Yeah. Okay, number 8. This is a deep cut. Most people aren't Castlevania people, but Castlevania: Lament of Innocence.
Did we have this
I remember you
conversation again
playing
recently?
Castlevania.
So good.
Was that you and me,
I'm just
Jake?
mad because it's like, why wouldn't you remaster that? Why wouldn't you put that out on the Sony? Like,
Didn't they do that with the
why
Switch
can't I download it?
recently?
They put out like the 2D Castlevanias,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, the PlayStation 2 3D Castlevanias, they didn't get a lot of love, which was a crime. All right, number 7. This is controversial.
Okay.
The OG Modern Warfare 2,
How's that controversial?
Oh, yeah.
because it should be higher, probably.
Oh, all right.
But I'm just biased about a lot of things.
Okay.
I remember all the hours spent doing multiplayer in that game.
The best player
Yeah,
I knew was a person named Chino Hills.
I still from time to time when I want to like scratch that like Call of Duty itch, I will pop in my Xbox 360 and just play Modern Warfare 2.
Well, they released a campaign for like PS5.
Yeah, I saw that. I
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
good.
want to do that eventually, but I don't know.
It's
I
good.
really want that to also just have a multiplayer remaster. So
I
It's
know.
never gonna happen.
But it is the best multiplayer first-person shooter ever made. Number 6, Ghost of Tsushima. Did you guys ever play that?
It's on my list.
It is so freaking epic. It does samurai and like showdowns like better than any game I've ever played. It is so freaking good. Number 5, I'll try to speed this up. Metroid Fusion. OG Metroid game, so good.
I
2D on
remember
Game
playing
Boy.
that with you a little bit, like not actually playing it, but like watching you play it.
Number 4, Final Fantasy X.
There it is.
Best Final Fantasy of all time.
Is that the one with the stupid laugh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one with the.
Bryce loves that. Bryce loves that laugh. I don't know why. He just always feels compelled to mimic it.
We defeat the power of evil by playing water polo.
Hey, there's been worse ideas.
I'm
not saying.
I've never
Just throwing that out there.
I've never actually finished that game start to finish. I have it on my Switch, and I need to go through it and like actually play. I was playing it for a while, and then I think I lost my Switch for a little while because I left it at my parents in California, and then I just never played it for a while after that, and I haven't played it since. So
That's a great laying in bed, like getting ready to fall asleep game, and you just work on that guy, and level up and do whatever. Number 3, Alan Wake. You guys ever played Alan Wake? Oh, so good. Like an intense thriller game about this guy whose wife gets like kidnapped, and you don't know what's real and what's like fantasy, and it's incredible. So
Wait.
intense.
You said Alan Wake?
Alan Wake. And they just announced a sequel after like 12 years. So it should be dope. Number 2, Metroid Prime. So close to being my number 1. It was my number 1 forever. But that was unseated by Witcher 3. Witcher 3
so much.
Witcher 3 took Skyrim, and then it just took a big old poop on it. And it said, I'm going to do what you did, but I'm going to make everything better. I'm going to make the gameplay better. I'm going to make the story better. I'm going to make the graphics better. And yeah, I've played it through it's a massive game. It's like 150 plus hours to do like all of the quests. And I've played it through probably 3 or 4 different times now. And it is so good.
Yeah, he was playing through it when I went up there. I think both times I went up there.
Yep, and I finished it. And now I'm just, it's like how people live their life where they're like, I'm finishing my meal, and then when I'm not eating, I'm thinking about my next meal. That's how I am with Witcher 3. Like, I'm playing Witcher 3, I beat it, and then I'm playing another game, and I'm thinking about when I'm going to play Witcher 3 again. Like, that's...
it's very accurate. I think he had like New Girl on or something, and his wife was doing something, I'm doing something, and he just plops down and turns on Witcher 3. He's like, you guys weren't watching.
They weren't.
No, I wasn't. I wouldn't. All I hear is just Jamie, just like, I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing this now.
The principle of the thing, you know.
It's the principle. Okay. Alrighty then. That was a list.
There you go, buddy. I come with content.
That was content. That was content. That was stellar top listery content. I don't think I even have I haven't done a top 10 video games list in a while.
Oh, dude, it's time.
All right, hang on.
It's time.
I gotta pull up.
Someone put one on the spot.
I have to pull up the library, but I could probably do it.
We should do it. We should circle around to it after we do Angels Talk. That way, you guys can actually put it together, and then it's not just you reading stuff. Not just you reading stuff.
I'm gonna need to pull up my Google Sheets.
He's got documentation. He's got the documentation.
I don't. I don't have it. I don't have a list. I haven't come up with one of these ever. But I can I need to just list a bunch of video games I remember because if it's something that comes to my mind, then obviously I think it's a great game. But
so we can talk some Angels, I guess. While both of us work on this list. So they suck. And it hurts me.
They're kind of floating around being 500, which is not horrible.
The game, man.
But it also has.
I think they won tonight, which is.
They did. They beat the Royals 2-0.
Oh, see, I after halfway through this road trip, I was like, oh man, I have a feeling I'm gonna be really grumpy if I stay locked in through them playing.
Great talk.
So I'm gonna give myself a breather.
Yes, Angels won today, 2-0. Thank God.
You know what I love though?
Logan Hoppy's been pretty good.
Yep, and on cue, put on the 10-day IL, so that's great.
I mean, yeah. And now Chad Wallach has to come in because Matt Theis doesn't remember how to, play catcher.
I mean, we all forget things from time to time.
I don't get why Matt Theis is even on the roster anymore. They just need to just unload him.
It's been painful. I've really been happy that they've been that Perry has not settled for mediocrity. Willing to option Fletcher, willing to option Herget.
Died.
Some of these guys, they're willing to. He's not willing to settle for a less than above average, which I love. I think that you have to have those standards,
Yeah.
There you go. My headset died, so that's fun.
Spects with all the technical difficulties.
I didn't charge. I meant to charge them when I was at work, and I didn't. Whoops.
Yeah, I charge mine if I know in advance of a day. I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff with these headphones, so.
Whoops.
So who's been your bright spot for the Angels so far this year?
Apart from Ohtani?
Yes.
Probably Renfroe.
Hoppy and Trout.
I mean,
and Renfroe.
Renfroe, Hoppy.
Rendon's been getting on base half the time.
You keep trying.
I was gonna say Rendon's actually.
Rendon,
I'm not a horrible start. He's just not what we're paying him.
I dropped him in fantasy strictly because I'm like, he's not doing anything.
But he's seeing the ball super well, the power just hasn't come back yet. But when it does,
and that's the problem with wrist injuries is they can kind of zap it.
Maybe he just needs to come up to the plate batting left-handed.
He needs Brett Phillips to throw him a couple.
Yeah.
Was it a Sam Blum that tweeted out that Ohtani's and Trout's batting averages in clutch hitting situations
have been terrible?
That one hurt. I was because I was thinking every single time I'm like, okay, this is who this is who you want up in this situation, and why do I feel like it's never ending well?
You honestly want Rendon up in that situation
I mean,
at this rate.
At
it
this
used
point,
to be
yeah.
Walsh, and then Walsh couldn't sleep apparently. So
Dude, hey man, not sleeping. Let me tell you.
Does he ever come back to the Angels this year? Like it feels like he's never coming back.
he's back in the clubhouse today. They said.
So he's probably
okay.
gonna go on a rehab assignment probably soon.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he has to basically do his own little spring training to get himself going. So you can't come into the season cold.
He said they think that it might have been a lingering from long COVID, which is crazy.
I didn't even know he had COVID.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, at this point, haven't we almost all had COVID?
Yeah.
I guess so.
This isn't a COVID podcast, right? So
No, it's not. No, we're not here to
if it was a COVID podcast, I'd be logging off.
We could upset like half of our whatever listeners we have. We could potentially upset all of them for all I know. They could all feel
all 4 of them
things.
So Ward's in a low-key slump. Sandoval had a bad outing.
Sandoval got rocked. He just walked everyone.
Hoppy's on the IL.
But they said shoulder.
Been pretty decent.
They said shoulder fatigue on him, which was interesting.
Suarez has been blowing up.
I know we didn't talk about this, Bryce, but we didn't really touch on the whole sort of ending of Fletcher's time with the Angels.
Still there. He's on AAA.
He's in AAA, but he's off the 40, man.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he can't get pulled back up eventually.
No, I guess in reality, it yeah, it's true. It doesn't.
I mean, he needs it. Like he needs to be able to go and like tinker with his mechanics in a place that's like not gonna, kill him if it, he swings and misses a bunch, like because I feel like he's hitting scared all the time. Like when he's up there, I feel like he's just trying to like make the softest contact, where his soft contact worked forever, but then now it's not, it's too soft.
Yeah.
No, it's the weird thing is with all that, like with sending anybody to the bees is like you could send people to the bees and like Theis, Adele, I expect Fletcher. They all perform suddenly like lights out, hitting 380, blah blah blah, home runs every other game, and it's like, but then it's like you pull them back up to the big leagues singing, yeah, you were doing so good in AAA, and then it's like,
well, the PCL is a notorious hitters league, so a lot of times like numbers get inflated, especially for like guys who have like any kind of offensive capabilities. Oh, our buddy Sean got back to me about it. He said he will check. He thinks he still has that save and all the older FF7 saves from high school. Yeah.
You gotta finish that. You gotta beat that last boss so you can say you've beaten that game.
I know, I laugh. He told me he literally just finished building his new entertainment system and reconnecting the PC and Stream Gear. So I guess good timing on that question, Jake.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I mean, I made this point, I think, last week. The good news is the Angels are treading water while having, like, most of their roster slumping.
Yeah, and tinkering with things. If Neto gets any kind of traction, I mean, that guy's going to be, like, a star.
I mean, it's... the worst part about this whole season, other than the Angels, being disappointing at times, is I'm in 4, I think, active Angels groups on Facebook.
Mistake number 1.
Every freaking game, and the worst of them is Halo's Nation. because every
Toxic.
time they lose, it's same old. This is gonna be the worst season ever. We're gonna finish the 70 wins, and it's
See,
like,
Jake
yeah,
would tell
maybe,
you.
but
See, I'm waiting for Jake to just be like, see, that's what I deal with Spects and Tim.
I mean, it is, like
I'm
Brandon
not that
and Tim.
they're
bad.
not as bad. They're
I'm
not
not
as
that
bad as
bad.
Halo's Nation. You guys have been in Halo's Nation before.
I go back and forth with
Not
it.
as bad as Halo Nation.
No, but their negativity is toxic and suffocating.
Oh
So,
my god, I'm not
I'm not
that
gonna lie.
bad.
You're getting called out, Specs. You're getting called
I
out.
have
Listen.
muted that group chat at moments. I have muted it
Listen,
before.
my negativity was so bad. John Heyman blocked me on Twitter. So what? You know what? Maybe he's onto something.
No,
I said it-
you
want
got
to know
blocked because you were saying a positive thing about Otani.
My exact
Yeah.
words were, because I'm tired of like every major person selling Otani off to the highest bidder, and I just put it's all white noise at this point, and he blocked me for it. And I'm like, all right, Mr. Softy. So I blocked
it's
him
true.
too. So John Heyman can't read my crap either. Not that he was anyway. I win in the end.
Here's the thing. Specs and I have had this discussion off the stream multiple times. And on the stream. These are guys, John Heyman, Jeff Passan, all these guys normally when they are releasing this like big breaking information, they're normally at the very minimum, they will say sources close to the situation have told me, even like the vaguest hint of I have someone telling me something. But when it comes to Otani, it's just a lot of, yeah, well, Otani's clearly going to leave the Angels if the Angels don't pick up their game. Like, that's just clear. And it's like, who are you citing? Like, did people close to Otani tell you that? I doubt it, because Otani's telling nobody, like, he's not telling anybody anything. He's keeping close to the chest, which is fine. But I just hate these sports writers acting like I have this breaking information because I've deduced this fact. And
I think
like,
the only
you
thing
deduce what most of us assume.
I think the only thing I saw was some like Trout saying like, oh, they need to get to the playoffs if they want a shot at keeping Otani. Like,
but even then, I think it's Trout just being like, that's the most understandable, and like that's the most understandable thing any of us could say about Otani is, yeah, if the Angels suck at the end of this year, he should be gone. Why would he want to?
The whole thing is
come
that
back to the Angels.
At the end of the day, he has the right to explore what the option is, but it's like, is he going to do anything? No. We had this conversation with Jake, I, and our buddy Tim. It was, what was it, you or Tim who said like, oh, everyone was dead set on Trout going to the Phillies until he didn't. So it's not really out of the question that something, weird and wild happens, that he just randomly signs an extension.
My whole thing is the culture that he comes from is so different than, like the culture here, where it's like, it's player empowerment and all these things, and that's great, but like, in like Japanese culture, loyalty is super important. And like he went there to like play with Trout, and if he feels like things are going in the right direction, who knows, like he could go a lot of these other places, but I think and I think the Angels' whole question about like their identity has been a really interesting one for a long time, because like they were the Anaheim Angels and then they became the LA Angels because they're like, no, we're an LA team. But then, players are going there because they wanted to be in California, but not in like the high profile LA market. And, I think that's actually really appealing to someone like Otani, who's obviously not in it for the fame. He's famous enough, he's bigger than Justin Bieber when he goes back home into Japan, He's an economy in himself, like LeBron. So for him, he's probably not thinking in terms of like, I want to go and be a Yankee, I want to go and be a Met, He's probably thinking, I want to play at a team that can consistently compete for a long time. And if the Angels, like, if you look at the Angels objectively, you go, this is a franchise that's trending in the right direction everywhere. Like, their minor leagues are so solid. Like, they consistently get overlooked when people are praising their minor leagues. It's like, Look at the Trash Pandas. Look at AAA. Like, there are so many pitchers and so many minor league players that are smashing right now. Like, there's depth there, you know?
I mean,
I don't expect this season to turn out the way it's been so far, but like, and I think Jake touches on a point that I've made, which is I don't honestly think if Ohtani does leave, he's definitely not. I mean, like, here's the thing: Passan made the argument of well, yeah, if the Angels don't pick up their stuff, then Otani's probably set to leave. And he's probably, the Mets are going to offer him a bunch, and the Dodgers are going to offer him a bunch. They're just going to be lining up to offer him money. And it's like, I don't see those as locations that seem to fit Ohtani. I could see him going to
New York,
Padres. I could see him going to Seattle.
West Coast teams.
I mostly see him staying on the West Coast due to like what Jake said, like
Japan.
He doesn't want to be the high profile guy, and like so yeah, he could go to like a Mariners where it's like a team that's trending in the right direction.
I think what's funny,
but even then,
I
was just gonna say, I think he's like only really focused on, like it's like if it's about winning, well then go to the team that's like go to the Braves, or go to the Padres, because those teams are like, yeah, we're gonna eviscerate people, but like if it's not only about winning and it's about money and comfort, like the Angels have as good of a shot as anybody to retain Trout or Ohtani.
I not to like look at me, Louis, myself, but I made this comment in my article today that I don't think necessarily gets brought up enough when we talk about this, but it's just when it comes to like his contract, everyone sort of says it's going to be monstrous. So how in the heck are the Angels going to pay for another contract like that? Because like I use the example of Trout's contract, which was 12 years, $430 million over that period of time. That's a lot.
I mean, yeah, but also look at the rate that payrolls are increasing around the league.
No, my point more or less was just like, how unheard of is that a team has 3 contracts like that? Like, I know Rendon's on the back end of it, but I don't know what the money's going to be like.
It's not exactly the same, but dude, look at the Padres. Like,
no, that's true.
Like those guys are stacking mega blockbuster deals, and they wouldn't do that if they were just like digging financial holes, like I know everybody says like, oh, they got all this new money, but like the reality is like, they're not just going to throw money in a pit just because, I really want to win. It's like, no, they're profitable,
So I mean, I guess it is. Because I'm just curious. So on the back end of the Rendon deal, he's gonna get. So from next year on, which would be Ohtani's first year of a big deal, he'll be making $38 million the last 3 years of the contract. So I guess realistically, if they wanted to, they could backload it. They could backload the first 3 years. So once Rendon's off the books, then they could realistically like kick up his salary if they really wanted to.
I could totally see them convincing him by giving him opt-outs and control.
No, that's true.
Like, hey, dude, like, we can put in an opt-out after every 3 years.
Well, that's what the Dodgers, because that's basically what the Dodgers would do. Is if the Dodgers were to get him, like, similar thing is the Dodgers owner doesn't do no trade contracts, but what he does do is he does give players a lot of control. Like, I know Greinke had it. That's the most, like, I guess, famous one when he signed with the Diamondbacks. He opted out, signed with the Diamondbacks. I think Freeman's got a similar deal, but a lot of those like bigger deals with the Dodgers have opt-outs. And my curiosity got the better of me, so I wanted to see what the rest of Trout's contract was. Base from 2021 to the end of the contract, he's making about $35.5 million per year for the rest of the year, for the rest of the time.
Yeah, but those contracts, like his contract, will become like valuable. Like he's already underpaid, honestly.
That's sort of like I wonder. I don't know if necessarily they restructure contracts a lot. I think they kind of do.
Yeah, they can.
But I don't
Taylor
know
Blake
if they would
tweeted out in the last hour that Ohtani with 7 scoreless tonight lowered his season ERA to 0.64 over 28 innings. Over the last calendar year, he has a 1.84 ERA in 185
it's
innings.
Disgusting.
He is on track if he could continue this kind of pace, which I mean that remains to be seen. But if he could continue this kind of pace, he'd be on track to definitely win MVP and potentially compete for Cy Young.
Or he was doing that last year.
No, I know, but like he would be a much closer to doing both in one season, which would be it'd be crazy.
No, it's
that whole tungsten arm O'Doyle or whatever.
You know what's nutty? He went from, because I'm just looking at like the salaries for him. He went from last year about $4.5 million to $30 million this year. That's nuts.
It's a good jump.
Nah, but it's like,
but he's gonna make way more, and like, those like branding deals and all of that.
He already was. They said he was making like $30 million in straight brand deals, but I don't know necessarily where they're getting that information from.
I think they said he's one of the highest paid players in Major League Baseball.
I think he's the highest. I think he was the highest. Because
I can't remember if it was the highest or if it was like
no, I think he was the highest, because the next closest one was Scherzer, but he's also getting paid like $45.5 million just in salary. But not a lot of baseball guys actually have brand deals. Like, what are you going to brand Scherzer with at this point? Pine tar?
Rubbing alcohol?
Rubbing alcohol and rosin.
Oh my God! Ohtani had 11 strikeouts. 11 strikeouts tonight. That's insane.
Dude's a machine. Oh man, dude's incredible. Then you got the Lakers who play on Sunday, and I fully expect LeBron James to drop 40 on Dylan Brooks.
I was gonna say I expect them to hold serve at home and go back to Memphis up 3-1.
Yeah, Jake wasn't in our little call on Wednesday, but they lost, but we were making the comment like the Lakers won game 1, lost game 2, but I think they won the more important game, the one with Ja Morant at least being in it, compared to like the one where it's like, oh, they should win because Ja's out. But I rather them lose the one with Ja out than win it, because it means they can win when they're at full strength.
But that's a weird part of the Grizzlies, right? Like, you remember when they played like half the year without Ja last year, and they were better without him. Like, this is a team that's like constructed to survive and like even thrive if Ja's not out there.
I don't mean to compare them to the Heat, but the Heat had a similar like weird issue where they got blown out by the Bucks without Giannis, but beat the Bucks with Giannis. So I don't know I don't know if it's sort of like a similar thing where, because you're planning for a star, or you're planning them to like work through somebody, not working through them makes it a little more difficult.
I definitely think that has a lot to do with it.
I don't know if it necessarily has anything to do with it. I'm just curious. It's more of like I'm asking the question.
You still have to have a roster. Like if Anthony Davis goes down, like the Lakers are done. But you have to have a roster. Like the Grizzlies are one of those teams where their roster is built in such a way that without Ja, they're still a really good team.
I'm not saying
it's really hard to plan. No, I know. But what I'm saying is, so it's really hard to plan around. It's a lot easier to plan for Ja than it is to plan against a bunch of other guys who are going to have to step up in Ja's absence.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Is it sometimes harder?
If Ja was out a second game, the Lakers would prove
is he not
better against.
I'm just curious. Is
I don't
he
know.
supposed to be back?
I have no idea what his status is for this next game is, but if he's back, then I expect the Lakers to play in form and do well. And if he's not back, then they'll know what to do because they've seen it now.
He out of 6 hours ago, he's questionable for game 3, but it looks like he practiced. Although Bleacher sorry, okay, so that was CBS. Bleacher Report says Ja struggling to catch passes after hand injury. So I'm guessing it's probably not as likely.
Third time through the order, batters are hitting .000 against Ohtani.
Get to him early. That's all I can say now. It seems to be the point.
All right, fellas, I gotta go deal with some kid stuff. But you guys enjoy your Lakers talk, and to be continued with your top 15 games.
I got 10. I got my list done, so you're gonna have to listen.
I've got my list, and then we can.
You're gonna have to listen back to hear what they are, huh?
I got my kid crying, but
no, you can
go.
All right.
Yeah,
all right. Well, I wanted to do the list, but maybe next time.
You'll just have to listen to the podcast.
Oh, there you go.
All right, take care, buddy.
All right, Jennifer. Bye.
Take care, bud. All right.
Anyways,
anywho,
for the last bit of this,
yeah, I mean, 15 minutes, not too.
We could do our finish this off.
Yeah, we can end it there. Do you want to go and then I'll go?
Yeah.
Or I go, you go. I don't care. However,
you go first. I'm still organizing the order for it.
I think my order is going to be a little wonky because I went through my Epic library, then my Steam library, and then I thought of games after the fact. So it's not necessarily like definitive, but it's what I got. So bear with me on it. So number 10, the original BioShock. Number 9, this is a personal favorite of mine. I don't expect you to have it. I don't expect Jake to even really say anything. Balloons Tower Defense 6. Number 8, Far Cry 5. Number 7, Borderlands 2. Number 6, Fallout 3. Number 5, Resident Evil 8 Village. Number 4, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Number 3, MVP Baseball 2005. Number 2, Halo 2. And number 1, Fallout New Vegas.
Dude, I just remembered a game I needed to add to this. Oh, what do I kick out?
Make it.
I think I'd have to kick.
Just make it an OLI.
Yeah. Okay, so my honorable mention then is what I'd say is Fallout 3.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm reorganizing this list. So it's right there at like around 10 with the next game I'm going to mention, which is the Gen 1 games of Pokemon. Because that was like my childhood. So like those games have tons of replay value for me, and I just love them. Super Mario Maker 2.
Okay.
I just because it's the community is great around it, and then the again, it has so much value because it's like a bunch of random people making a bunch of random levels. You could endlessly go on and on for days just playing. But you know, if Mario's your thing, right above it is Super Mario World. Again, childhood.
Okay.
Has a lot of nostalgia value there for me. And then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Mostly the multiplayer from that, but also that campaign is still one of the greatest things of all time.
Then on the
Samurai
Switch.
Warriors.
Oh Jesus, you two and your Samurai Warriors.
And then Halo 3 is number 4.
Okay.
And then my top 3. Number 3 is Valheim.
It's gonna be Terraria number 2, isn't it?
Nope.
Number 1's
Number 2
Terraria.
is Final Fantasy. Number 2 is Final Fantasy.
Is number 1 Terraria?
Number 1 is Terraria.
Oh my god.
Sorry, there's a reason I put. Let's see what the updated number is.
Oh
based
my
on you and I
god.
putting
Is this
together.
the hours played thing? Because you have 1,000.
played-
Oh my god.
1,090 hours, and that's not why. I'm saying the reason I have that many hours put into that game is because I think it's so great.
Okay. I'm not gonna fault
It's
you.
one of the top. It's one of the top 10 best-selling games of all time. So
I'm the one in the weird what? Okay. So I'm the weird one
who can't stand it weirdly.
Okay. Now you make it seem like I'm an asshole.
I didn't have a. There was one more game I was supposed to have in there. I think I only named 9. So above Samurai Warriors and below Halo 3 would be Skyrim.
Okay.
So I loved that game. That was great times doing some good adventuring. So
Okay.
yeah, no, it's fun to have Jake on the podcast, and he brought us that content, that list.
Yeah. That it was. Is there anything else we want to add, or we want to keep it a little short this week? I'm cool with it.
We can keep it short. I don't mind.
All right. So thanks for hanging out. Check it out next week where I will be questioning Bryce. Next week, probably.
It was funny because this is actually Jake joined us like last second.
Yeah, because I asked him.
So we were originally, I was like gearing up my brain like, oh, what is Spects gonna ask me? And like thinking of like answers for it, like already thinking like what I would say.
No, that I was sort of thinking like what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, but no, it'll be good. It'll be good next week, and we'll be able to do some good content. So.
Yeah, so check it out next week for that. And then we'll see you guys then. So have a good one, everyone. We'll see you all next Monday. Bye.
See you guys.